address the relationship between Cosmoetica and the corporate publishing realm. There's a quote at the bottom of your signature that's from, we won't mention, famous film reviewer person. And so you've gotten acknowledgments over time, seems to me. And I was wondering if you could address for a couple minutes if any of those acknowledgments had come from the corporate sector.
No, not really. There was a small article 12 years ago or so, the New York Times, a guy named David Orr mentioned Cosmoetica as one of the 10 or 12 best literary websites, but it was sort of a backhand kind of mention. It was one of those things that there were a lot of small websites that didn't have as many readers, and I guess he was forced to mention Cosmoetica since it was at the time one of the most popular websites, and still a popular website. As the internet has grown, the sea has gotten larger, so it's harder to maintain a sort of primacy like that. But so the New York Times did it. I've gotten little blogs here or there. Roger Ebert did his piece on me a few years back, but there really hasn't been, and it's kind of strange because I know my wife has often complained. There was a movie called Julie Julia with Meryl Streep about some woman who started a food eating blog or a cooking blog or something, what she ate or cooked for a year or something. It led to her getting a book and then getting published. And Jessica's always like, well, why your website is more popular? Why don't people do that? Why hasn't I don't know, Charlie Rose or some PBS show tried to interview? And I say basically it's what I had mentioned earlier about with the YouTube websites. If you have dancing squirrels, if I have a YouTube clip of dancing squirrels, if I have a celebrity nipple slip, if instead of doing these interviews of depth with scientists and philosophers and artists and writers and filmmakers and astronomers, if I was trying to interview, I don't know, some Kardashian, I don't even know all their names other than Kim. If I was trying to interview, these minor celebrities, yeah, I could get more hits, but it wouldn't be fulfilling. It's nothing that interests me. So I'm in it for the long haul, and that's hard to try to do a profile by. These kind of little meme-worthy websites or meme-worthy clips that go viral, as they say, are usually under a minute long, and they're easy to just forward around. Well, how do I forward around? I'll give you an example. A week or two ago, I think it was last week. Yeah, last weekend, 1 week ago, in fact, I did this 3-hour debate between outlier cosmological theorists, 4 guys who had alternative ideas to the Big Bang, and it's a 3-hour interview. How the hell do you condense that down into something that's digestible for you? Yo, dude, thumbs up, thumbs down. Angelina Jolie, I want to fuck her. How do you condense that down into something that the masses can chew? You can't. So ultimately, just like with my writing, just like with Cosmoetica, it's these things that you have to go over time. Cosmoetica, like I said, is closing in on about 500 million visitors, hits on the main site, however you want to call it, and that's an impressive accomplishment for just basically an art site. But then you have to look out in the bigger picture. There are something like 7.2 billion people on the planet. I think I read now that 3.5, almost 50% of the people now have access to the internet. So you're talking about 3.5 or so billion people that can access it. However many times they hit it per day, maybe let's say it's 25 or 50 billion visits that people make a day. And I average maybe on my main page, what would it be? Maybe 152, let's say 200,000 hits a day. 200,000 divided into, however many 50 billion visits a day is quite small. And so it's not sexy in the mass media lowest common denominator American way. Uh, and so it's difficult, and it's difficult to connect into the people who have any kind of power or whatnot. I think and hope that the videos themselves will slowly get out there. But if I get 10 million hits on a video, for example, it might take me 15 or 20 years and having it go, slowly pick up steam rather than just have those 20 million hits in a 2-week period that gets, on the Today Show. And this meme is going viral. It's just not going to happen that way. So you have to adjust yourself. You have to recognize that corporate America, and I could go on and on about corporate America, many things, but it's slow moving. It's about the lowest common denominator. Things of quality will not get out there. That's just the way it is. So you have to try to slowly subvert. You have to go left. You have to go right. You have to pause. You have to move, sidestep. You have to try to get many ways. I've gotten people who send me stuff or who have become fans of my website because they stumbled upon it mostly, or someone told them about something, or they're just Googling and they happen to come upon it. I don't have the money. I can't advertise online. I can't advertise in Google. So you have to use these. You have to use whatever little things you can to subvert a system that is utterly opposed to the things that you stand for, the things that you're trying to do. And that's a very difficult thing. And fortunately I'm a patient man, so I deal with it as I can.